Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, the show where we talk about dirt bike and dirt bike related products and answer the viewer questions. My name is Jimmy Lewis, and I'm your host. On this episode, I'm joined by longtime host George. Big John paid us a visit again, and we're back at Romeros, where we originally started this podcast, and we go over a little history, talk about a few things, have a few tequilas, and generally enjoy the atmosphere. The sound quality probably isn't the best on this, but we're at a bar, and that's why I tell everybody to shut up. So we got to thank our sponsors. Taco Moto has been helping us out, a little financial sponsorship, and so check out Taco Moto up on the internet. He has parts for your tuning, I guess. Lots of advice and parts. Kate's Bars has been with Jimmy Lewis Off-Road and Dirt Bike Test for a long time. They keep us nourished when we're out riding on the trail. You can always email me for a discount code for Kate's Bars if you're interested. And Climb. So Climb makes the best dirt bike gear out there. I wear it all the time when I'm riding for fun. So enjoy some Climb riding gear. Thanks to also DDC Sprockets. DDC has been keeping your rear wheel going round and also supporting the sport of off-road. So those companies kind of keep us going, and hopefully you will keep them going too. So here goes the show. Welcome to our 50th episode, live from Romeros. It's 7:02. I wish it was 5:02 right now.
Right here. Thank you. And I did ask you for one of those pictures.
Yep.
This is the only dirt bike test shirt I have. And you wear the same thing.
Well, that's the way it is. Okay. Now it's 7:03. So live from Romeros, we're back.
Woo-hoo!
This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. This is the show where Jimmy Lewis and tonight George, because we have a lot of Mexicans in the house tonight, talk about motorcycle and motorcycle-related products. We can answer probably 7 out of 10 questions that are posed to us. What are you going to do?
It's about branding. You got to turn this so
Oh, jeez. It's about branding. Yeah, there's a dirt bike tech sticker down here someplace, but there's a. So also tonight we have a special guest, Victor. And what do you got there? Shrimp cocktail or something?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, he drove all the way out from California to come and hang out with us, and he brought us this awesome bottle, old bottle of Centenario Extra. So we're going to try that during the show. I'm going to try to have time to eat tacos. I was a little busy before that, but thanks everybody for joining us. That's super awesome. Thanks Jorge, George for right here for showing up tonight. We have Logan to read our questions, maybe. We might have Logan's moment of silence. Big John, who's evidently the best flat tracker in the world. Self-proclaimed best flat tracker in the world today. I unfortunately cannot partake in flat track today.
Now, what's that about? Your fans want to hear.
You got to talk over here.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, don't talk over there.
What's that about? Your fans want to hear why you didn't ride flat track.
Because I did a belly flop this weekend, and I mean a super solid belly flop, showing off like usual, and something went wrong. I can explain it in detail what went wrong, but when I went over the handlebars and I landed on the ground, I tried to break my fall, and I think I punched myself in the chest and allegedly, maybe bruised up a rib or something. So I'm sore.
It sounds very familiar to my get off on the 50 that you laughed at. It still hurt. Same thing. Arm into the ribs, broke ribs.
Yeah, the ribs are fragile things when you punch them into the ground. So, so I'm probably not smiling as much. Did it interrupt on your side?
Interrupted
On my
else?
side. No, I'm going to read the questions here. Let's see. We got Tim Gomes out there, Mark Daniels, Todd Kelly. He liked it when I was facing the other way when I was testing the camera.
Mitch,
Yeah.
Mitch is out there.
Mitch is out there.
My
Mitch.
wife, my brother, Bob Kelly.
So
Bob Kelly.
Mitch is in Crump Mitch.
Yeah.
He knows where this place is.
Yeah, I know.
Is he scared? Are you scared of Romeros?
No.
No? Scared of me.
I don't know. Scared's the right word. Victor's on it. Tim Chan. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Susan Clark, my neighbor. Steven Grope. This is a guy I went to high school with. See, all these followers are for who?
For you? Yeah. What did you do? Do some promoting? I was too busy.
No, I didn't promote at all.
baking.
Mike Spurgeon from Takamoto, he was up there. Michael Jensen.
So Robert Miller wants to know, he says, Jimmy, when are you going to bring the XR Twin Piper into the studio and do a complete segment on all its unique features? Robert, is that the mini bike one that I have, or is that like the one that I raced in Baja back in the day? Because I don't actually have that bike. Actually, I think I gave all the parts away that I had for that bike to somebody else. So, yeah, Chris, I know there's too much background noise, but we're at a bar, restaurant, and that's the way we like it. It's easier than having tacos delivered. We just came down here and set up a studio, and Jaynie likes us. So, wait, I know what I was going to do. Hey, everybody shut up. We're trying to do a damn podcast here.
In a bar.
A restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
Restaurant, right. Maybe use a helmet mic. Let's see. The background noise from the test 40 minutes ago is worse. So it's worse now or worse later? Okay. Let's see. Brian England asks, Jimmy, what do you think of the FIM proposed rules to ASO and AER regarding rally safety? Just read that today. Routes must now be recode by riders, not just cars. Roadbooks proof by riders. Honestly, thought that really happened. Maybe airbag jackets and possibly intake restrictions to bring speeds down. I don't know. I haven't seen those rules today. I saw that they're switching over, at least in the World Rallies, the official language of the road books has to be English now, so all the notes have to be English. I saw that.
Really?
Some of this, yeah. So no more French stuff. Yeah, we're gonna say wash instead of oued, and straight ahead as opposed to whatever the letters, other stuff. I never really paid attention to that. I just blindly followed the road book.
The arrows?
Yeah, just followed the arrows. I don't think. I don't know. I mean, they're going to do whatever they can to make it safer. I remember for a while they were mandating neck braces, and I'm not a fan of that. So it'll work itself out. But yeah. And then ASO kind of does whatever they want. As opposed to, in the rally world, they have Dakar and then there's all the other world rallies. So it's 2:02 p.m. Wednesday afternoon in Australia. Robert, say hi to Jerry Bernardo for me when you're down there in Australia.
New Zealand is watching too.
Really?
Jeff Slaney.
Rodrigo Lopez, have you noticed a lot in improvements from 320 millimeters clearance fro? What does that mean?
No idea.
A 7 out of 10 ain't bad. Well, whatever that means. Is that our sound quality?
How is the video? I wonder. Is the video frozen or is it going?
I'm not sure. People are telling me to be careful. Oh, wait, I know why. Because I was talking, it's a delay, and I was talking about when I did my belly flop and all the other stuff. So, just So you might be watching this live on Facebook right now. So a lot of times we read the questions live on Facebook. We get to those, and then we kind of take them back at the end. We have a lot of questions that we pull off of our YouTube videos. So when you watch our videos on YouTube and you pose a question on there, we'll answer that question here on the show as opposed to responding to all of those, which can be kind of overwhelming sometimes. And then the peanut gallery generally asks a question or two about why we even do this, I think.
For the money and fame.
The money and the fame. Hey, Jaynie, I have one serious problem here. I have no way to transfer this into my
Jaynie?
into my mouth. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I think there's probably a few other people would like this too, right? So it's good that we're sharing tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, Victor brought this
Yeah.
from deepest Mexico.
Driving, right?
Take a shot of that.
I told him I would.
Well,
Jaynie has to
no,
deal
you're in
with
front of the light, and then Janie's got to bring the glasses. Yeah, good. Okay.
Put it in there on the ice. Boom, boom.
Janie's got to deal with
No. This doesn't go on ice.
It can go on ice, brother. I've drank tequila all different ways.
Well, it can, but it's not good.
It's not gonna.
Okay, it'll go on there and it'll dump in here.
You're not aware of our tequila procedures around here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, where are you on that board up there?
I'm not.
Not?
I drink it at home.
Okay.
I got a little Mexican kid that brings me stuff up from his great grandfather's cellar.
I think I would.
We.
So hey, you're
Make
my
sure
little
this
Mexican
gets-
boy that brings stuff up from?
My little Mexican boy.
Yeah.
You look like a man to me.
Not yet.
You're not a man yet?
No. Anyhow, they say the sound is worse now for some reason. The test was perfect, and the sound is worse now. Man,
How about now?
yeah, I don't know what happened. We actually had music going in the background and all kinds of other stuff. So, Kenny Yellen is coming in from Oak Hills, home of Ricky Brabeck. Who's Ricky Brabeck?
No, I got
Guy.
Some guy?
Yeah, I think I've heard of him.
I have a signed autograph thing for you, by the way, that I forgot to bring along with my
It's
wallet.
not the one that's on your...
The problem with the wallet. No, the problem with the wallet tonight is I was gonna buy some
How
rounds.
about a Don Julio?
Ricky's the guy that looks like
Okay.
Logan on the
Yeah,
250.
cheers. This is going on my
Cheers.
list, right? Where's Suzanne? She's gonna be kind of upset.
I messaged her.
Went all the way to 1945.
It's almost a whiskey.
Thank you.
Victor, that's
Well, he
good.
said a lot of it might have evaporated, the
Yeah.
alcohol out of it.
Yeah.
It was like
It's pretty good.
evaporated.
Yeah. So,
Because the Centenario's my go-to. Añejo Centenario.
yeah, good. This is Taco Tuesday number 50. Big celebrations. Yeah, we're kind of celebrating tonight.
If you take,
Let's see. Martin Gomes from
put it
Ransburg.
in this wooden barrel.
And Tim, his brother's down
New
here.
Zealand and Australia.
Yeah.
It's pretty good beer at the
Best
beach.
you ever had.
And my wife says it sounds fine. Tell them to get some hearing aids.
Can I pour this here?
Yeah, I think so. As long as Victor says it's okay.
Well, you know what?
Annette Dalton wants to know, are we going to have Skylar Howes on? Sure. Get him down here. He's halfway here. It's not that far from St. George.
And they got a big hacienda.
We got the background noise is getting good. So if
I went to a
you
bad
just
divorce.
turn the volume down, just
Thank you.
awesome, perfect. Yeah.
Went down there. He said, "Come down here. You come down."
I need to get Caveman Richard Jackson on the show. Eric Featherston says he has been racing longer than I have been alive, and I am old. I know that. I actually I know Jessica, his daughter, is good friends with my wife Heather, and so good. And Taco Mike is out there. Mike, we missed you. We saw you drop in at the last one, and okay, we've caught up on the Facebook post. We're all good. I have to find that other document that I have stashed here with all of my other questions. You're antsy for me to answer this first question.
No, not
'Cause
really.
It's one of your buddies. He's
But
your,
you know
he's, your-
what?
he's one of your main followers. Is he watching?
I texted him. I didn't get a
He's not
text
watching?
back, so let's can that one.
Can that question? Oh, he might come in later.
I don't know.
Can answer the question. So, let's see. What have we been doing a dirt bike test besides breaking ribs? Testing. Before I did that, I got to ride the 2020.5 KTM Factory Edition and the 2020.5 Husky Rockstar Edition 450. So it's essentially kind of a preview of what KTM and Husky are going to be offering next model year as the motocross bikes, which are pretty similar to the current ones. They just made a whole bunch of kind of small revisions. I mean, that bike's now, it's kind of strange to say that KTM's been using the same bike for 2.5 years. And the dual sport bike is even caught up. And so we just released the test on the FE 501 that's now on the YouTubes, and I'm trying to get some more stuff up there on the KTM 500 EXC and the Husky, just a straight FE 501 dirt bike, but time constraints have been a little difficult here. So, yeah, we actually should like link that video up onto the website, but man, where's Gabe? I saw Gabe. Okay, this is kind of strange, but I don't know if you saw this.
Don't go there.
That he rode up to the house on a quad today?
Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you saw a quad ride through my yard, right?
I heard something pull up.
Yeah, you should have pulled a gun out. But anyways, a quad rode through our yard, and it was Gabe. So I'm a little worried. Gabe can't be here tonight, but every once in a while, maybe, just things are wavering. I mean, usually we give him gas money, and he disappears, and then he shows up on a quad. So I'm really concerned about poor Gabe right now.
Maybe traded the truck for a quad.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see the truck. He said something about drifting. He said drifting. I said, Gabe, are you okay? Is that, that you pulled up on a quad? And he said something about drifting, and I don't know.
He's drifting a quad.
Maybe he's drifting over to Tower.
I remember when Gabe was cool. He had a Jeep, he had a bike. He was cool, but
he's borrowing a bike. Actually,
I think you got to take away that 250 rally and give it to Logan.
I can take it away. I can take the 250 rally away now because he got the test put up. So the newest YouTube video is of that CRF 250 L rally that's up there. So me and Gabe sit around and talk about it. So now maybe I can take it away since he pulled up on a quad. I thought maybe he was just running out to shoot some quick pictures for maybe a grinder profile or something. I don't know. Okay. I think this is actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Quite good.
Pretty good, yeah. It's old. How old do you think that is, Victor?
40.
40 years old.
Wow. We should quit pouring it then.
Yeah. Save it for the special people.
Speaking of special people,
Okay.
I won't go there.
You should. Am I special?
No.
I'll save that first question. So,
I think your fans still want to know what happened today. How'd you break ribs?
Yeah.
nose willy. I was doing.
Why did this happen?
I was doing nose willies. Showing off. Why? Oh, exactly. Why did it happen? Because I was actually switching between bikes. I was goofing around on my bike, and then someone said, "Hey, can you do that with a Recluse?" And I said, "Yeah, I can absolutely do it with a Recluse." So I hopped on one of my students' bikes in the class, and I started doing.
So this was in a class for safer riding.
Yes, a motorcycle safety class where I teach how to ride motorcycle safety. But I think
And you felt a teachable moment coming.
I like to demo. I like to do demonstrations.
Demos. I don't recall you doing demos on day 2.
So I was doing it on my bike. I'm a Husaberg 570, by the way. Which I mean, have I ever told you how much power that bike has? I mean, it's like all these guys that have 500s and they're like, my 500's really fast. I got this kit and this tuning. I have a stock Husaberg 570, and man, I mean, it makes like the rolling on the throttle experience is just out of this world.
I think it spun the air molecules out of the back tire that I put on there, right? Was that tire flat?
Yeah, but I cleaned the valve stem out, and it worked. It held air again. I think. I mean, I didn't check it out. But anyway, so I was wheeling, and then I would go into a nose wheelie, and I'd go back to it. I was like kind of pretending like I was a stunt rider. which I'm not. And so one of the students saw that and he said, "Hey, can you do that with a Recluse?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." It doesn't. And his bike, the Recluse wasn't set up like I like mine. You know, I like them to come on a little bit quick. His kind of revved a little bit, so it was tricky, but I was able to kind of do it. But I didn't like the way the clutch worked, and because I'm kind of like I'm on the spectrum. So it says my wife. I have a KTM 500.
You're all in.
That I wanted to feel the difference. I wanted to feel the difference between that setup and my setup.
His bike.
Well, his setup that engaged late, and I wanted to ride one that engaged early just to see what it did. But the brake lever, the front brake lever was adjusted really far out for my little small hands. And you know what they say about people with small, short fingers, right? Yeah, I have little hands. I didn't ask you.
I know.
Yeah. So, did you know that? How do you know?
I don't know.
So
A
anyways,
lot of research to get to that.
so I was doing the wheel loft, and I was just goofing around, and I came, put it out, and I kind of use the front brake to snap it up and do a little bit of a nose wheelie kind of thing. And the first time I did it, it snapped kind of quick because it was like hard for me to reach. Totally warned me, and then I snapped the front wheel back up, and then I brought it back
from one end to the other,
kind of hopping the bike a
I
little
could have
bit.
seen this.
And then the second time it snapped even harder, and it just was a full rotation. So the bad thing about doing nose wheelies, by the way, and I'm a little bit better than this other guy I used to know named Jonathan Belding. He used to work in Yamaha testing, who was a self-proclaimed nose wheelie expert. I'm a little bit better than Belding, but just like the time I tried to prove to him that I was a little bit better, like things went wrong. That bike over-rotated, and I was going to go down. And so there's one thing you can do at that point. You can't hit the rear brake. There's nothing. You just pick a side and dive. Yeah. And so I picked the side, and I dove off to the side, and
You tucked and rolled.
no, I didn't tuck and roll. I actually put my hands out, and my hands kind of. I think I broke the fall, but I don't know what happened. But I think my hand went into my ribs and then crack and snap, crackle, pop, or whatever. I jumped right up and pretend like nothing happened. And
It doesn't hurt right away.
And I talk about balance all the time, right? About how everything's balanced. You want to know how balanced I was when I was doing this?
Well, you told me. I know the rest of this story. The bike
landed upside down on the handlebar, sitting on the rear fender. It just rolled over nicely. I
It's
gently
like you
flipped the
changed
bike down.
tires on your bicycle as a kid.
Yeah. You flipped it. It was just sitting there upside down, and I'm like, doing flopping on the ground. I jump up, and the bike's still idling. It idles for a few seconds before it actually auto shuts off, and I had to jump up and knock it back over to pick it back up. I felt like an idiot. I only did it in front of 18 people. 18
But you do that
students.
well,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
And then I got up and I demonstrated another drill, like in shock, probably.
but yeah.
Yeah, probably in shock. Everybody's like, "Are you okay? Did you hit your head?" I don't know. So anyway, that's my sob story. George, is there anything else? Do I need to bring any other?
No, I'll bring it up again later.
Okay, good.
So anybody that can post anything that'll make Jimmy laugh a lot, that'd probably be a good thing. Cause
I can laugh. I had a sneeze the other day. I mean, like the first day and a half, I couldn't sneeze, and finally one snuck out, and it popped something back into place. But the other thing, like wherever, like, and
the little guy behind your eyes is just pissed.
no, you know what pissed me off is I didn't get to ride flat track today because I would have slayed Big John.
Well, that wouldn't have been hard. Why?
No, because
if you slay Logan, that'd be something to talk about.
He's Big John's the self-proclaimed flat track king.
He's talking over there. He's not even hearing this. He can see it later.
You'll have to watch it. No, you can't even watch videos at work anymore.
Enough about you. What questions you got?
Oh, we can't talk about me anymore?
No. It'll come back later.
Okay, let's see. We're going to talk about the CRF 250 rally that Gabe just put up a video on YouTube for. I'll link those back over and put them onto Dirt Bike Tests so they're easier to find. But Say G says, and he says, "I'm 5'9". Will this be too tall for me?" Well, on a good day, I'm 5'9", and that's a small bike.
Yeah, but it's not. Look at me. I'm 5'8". 7, 8, whatever. But my
Are you
legs
gonna
are
pull?
short.
You should pull out a 5'7" 3/4.
7,
Like
8.
you should.
7, 8.
Oh, really? 7,
13, 16 maybe.
Yeah. I love it when somebody tells me their height and they go, I'm 5'7" 3/4. Okay, so
I'm
but you got.
arthritic in hips and knees. And I got to lift my leg high, but leg day.
Okay, so with short legs, I guess you're gonna have to take a picture of your legs. DM me of that. Don't cover it up with like long pants. Just and then I can comment on this.
That bike's pretty
Hell
tough.
no. If you're 5'9", you can ride that thing. Logan, how tall are you?
5'4".
5'4".
I can touch both feet.
Really?
Yeah.
You never do that.
He's long legs though. He's all legs.
He's long legs. Okay,
Well, you're not seeing this.
5'4", and Logan can ride it. I've seen. Everybody gets worried about like, is it too tall for me? What you have to worry about is the seat to foot peg height, not the ground clearance, like foot peg to ground, because you can always slide your butt off the side of the seat and put one foot down. So no, it will not be too tall for you. I mean, even if you have some weird, strange body like George here, it can't. His little. His legs are kind of like my fingers.
I sit on a couch and scoot back. My feet are straight out. They don't bend and reach the floor. They just sit straight out.
Okay.
Touch the ground.
Sergio Sendano says he's asking about the KTM 300. Is this bike road legal?
Depends where you are.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. You didn't tell me where you're at.
You can get it road legal legitimately. Mine is.
Yeah. The one I raced at King of the Motos is road legal. So yeah, I think so. Talking about this
Does
CRF.
it come road legal?
No, it does not. It's a dirt bike. It's actually a competition bike. It's a straight up competition race bike.
Depends on the rules of whatever state you come from
or country.
Yeah.
So in Europe they sell them road legal in certain countries, but they're really choked up. Sierra 450L, Sinister Veritas. What does that mean?
Veritas.
What's Veritas? Sinister is evil, right? Truth?
Yeah.
Sinister Truth. Okay, so I love these names. So what is a good trail bike for the Northeast, where there is so much tight technical terrain, but with occasionally some wide open roads? It doesn't look like Honda offers something for Eastern riders. Johnny Campbell thinks that the Sierra 450L is the bike for you. But man, KTM makes that 350, right? That's the one you would want to get in there. If Honda doesn't make it, you can always. Does anybody make red plastic for KTMs?
It's
Make
coming.
one.
It's
Make
coming.
don't put anything on there. You might
Colors.
3 colors.
KTM.
Yeah. Oh, the gas one.
I believe so.
Yeah, so the gas will make dual sport bikes, and it'll look like a Honda because it's red, and then you can do that. But no, I mean, they don't make anything street legal for that. And since you're watching the Sierra 450L video, if you're a bigger guy, sometimes those 450s aren't that bad. Especially the X is not that bad back east, but compared to a KTM 350, it's kind of a whole different bike. So there's the CRF 250 RX, which frankly I was blown away by how good that bike works as a trail riding bike. I thought it would be really high strung and more racy like the motocross bike, but off-road it wasn't too bad if you're looking for the Honda solution for that. So hopefully, I think that'll answer your question. Now let's go back to the questions. We got more questions on the. See, Jason Abbott answers that question right there since he's the Honda media representative. Sierra 250 RX tight trails for days. Glad we think alike. Okay. And then people are trying to do what? DM, personal message stuff. Me, I can't respond to that right now. Yeah. They're like, things are popping up on the screen. Oh, I need a sip of beer. Like, talk. Do what Logan's supposed to do.
Robert, Sarah Jr. commented, I'm sorry, but I don't trust KTM.
Hey, George, talk over here.
I'm trying to, but I got to read.
Well, then angle your thing here. Don't you have my picture?
I asked for a beer a while ago, but I didn't get it.
You have my picture on your front of your screen? Why not?
Your brand is fine. KIM fuel problem is common, but I don't need to deal with this problem with my XR650.
Oh, here we go. So, some XR650 guys.
Okay, good. I hope you're happy. Next question.
No.
Husky. What?
Wait, no. We got to answer that question.
Was it a question?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see a question.
No. So he's talking about. He watched the Tour of Idaho video. So Robert.
Oh, okay, that's
no.
toy.
Yeah. Tour of Idaho.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't get that.
Didn't get my code words. So he watched the Tour of Idaho video and he says, "I'm sorry, but I don't trust KTM." And then he said, "I." And anyways, I'm glad you don't trust KTM because I do. My bike was just fine. I didn't watch the video. Just because my ECU came unplugged, just kind of a freak of nature. Other than that, I didn't put a wrench to that damn bike for however many stinking miles that Tour of Idaho was. And I still ride that bike, and I would take that bike out tomorrow without doing one bit of maintenance, and I would go ride the Tour of Idaho again, except there's snow on the ground. So.
All XR650s are carbureted. Those are carbureted bikes.
He says, yeah.
Air-cooled carbureted.
So his second comment was, yeah, Kim fuel problems is common, but I don't need to deal with this problem on my XR650. Well,
so he's saying KTM fuel system problems?
Fuel system problems.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can have problems with anything, and half of it has to do with the person putting gas in the bike. You're putting bad gas in, or you're letting dirt go in there. Have you not routinely checked the filters? And I have a lot of hours on my bikes, and I've only changed 2 of those tanks, the filters, that I recall. I have a bag. I bought a bag of 12 filters, and I'm ready to do them when we need to. And your bike was acting funny the other day. George has a KTM 500. He's acting funny. He's like, "Is it the fuel filter?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Is it still acting funny?"
A little bit, yeah. I was talking to Mike about it because I don't know if you guys folded my ECU a little, right?
No,
we played with it.
We swapped it out. We just took it. We swapped it out.
I got mine back, hopefully.
No, I gave you a junk one and took all the good parts off your bike and put it
that's
on
probably where I
mine.
should start. Like you say, what's the last thing you touch? Oh, Jimmy had my bike tested it, swapped out the ECU. Maybe that's where we should
I don't
start.
know that we actually did it on your bike. I don't know that we messed with.
I know you don't know.
We messed with your
That's why I was
300.
asking him.
There's like 17 bikes in my
I know,
garage.
and I don't know where my ECU is.
It's underneath your seat. It's right underneath the seat where they all sit.
No, my ECU. It's probably under your seat somewhere.
No, I don't have an 18, 19.
We'll sort it.
They're
We'll
different
sort it.
plugs. All mine are.
What'd you
mine-
swap out? You just said you swapped it out. If you don't have any, what'd you swap out?
I think on your.
You janked my stuff up, didn't you?
I think
Voodoo hex on it.
I worked your. We did stuff with your 300, but all the 500 testing was done on my bikes.
Okay.
So, but back to this fuel filter. It's not common. It's very rare, but everybody likes to go on the internet and complain about how they make it a common problem. And everybody talks about everybody else's problem. And we're experiencing a small problem with his bike, and I'm not ready to go, oh, it's the fuel filter.
Right.
Because if it's a fuel filter, it's a fuel restriction, and that happens at higher RPMs. You feel a reduction in power. Fuel filters tend to let you know they're going bad a lot before they go. They don't just plug instantly. You start losing power. George's bike is idling kind of funny. It's got an idling issue. So I'm a little more suspicious of the throttle position sensor. There have been some ECU issues. A friend of mine's bike actually had a bad ECU. But there's so many bikes out there and so few problems, it's not a big deal. But Robert, you should keep that XR650 because when you put a big tank on it, you have to have like all these fuel lines on that come from all different directions, and then you put a fuel filter on, and there's a lot of hot stuff like an exhaust pipe and routing around that and then
Boiling
the
the
back
gas before it gets to the car
boils
is
the
always
gas,
good, right?
and then the gas is hard on those fuel lines, and they crack, and then the fuel filters are out exposed to the acid rain, and the acid rain gets on the fuel filter, and the fuel filter breaks, and
But in all
a
honesty,
stick will go up underneath your gas tank and pop that fuel line off.
in all honesty, if you have a bike that you like and you're riding it, keep it, ride it.
Right on.
You don't need to get the latest, greatest, whatever.
I have an
Ride it.
XR650 and I don't ride it because I have a Husaberg, and the Husaberg makes it's only a 570, but it makes way more power than that XR650. That according to Mark, Berm Cannon Mark is a big pig. So okay.
Here, back up here. You don't get that in your place.
Caden S.
How do you know? You have to work all the time. You can't come over.
I can watch, and I do watch.
Right on.
Thank you.
Okay. So Robert, hey, thanks for watching the Tour Vallejo video. I appreciate it. I hope your confidence in other brands goes up.
So
They're all good.
let's go back up to question one.
Question
I
one.
had to
Oh,
pull a lot of strings to get this guy's attention. It sounds like he's on there now, but
he's live.
let's I don't know if he can pop up on there. Yeah.
Hey, Jim Anderson. Jim Anderson has a question. Jaynie's gonna text you my bar tab. Is that what you're gonna do to get this question answered?
Yeah, text Jim.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
this is a guy I worked with. You want to read it? You read it.
I'll read it. Hi, Jimmy. My name is Jim Anderson. I'm a friend of Jorge Justice. Yeah. He probably texted.
Let's just move on. There was
He's
another
talking about
question
you,
about
Jorge Justice. That's because you're a cop. You used to be a cop.
I worked with him. You should know how to spell it.
Yeah, because your name is kind of like Justice, but
There is no justice.
there's no justice. Okay, I was discussing suspension on the 2020 Husky with him, and he suggested I send you a question into your podcast.
Because I don't know anything, admittedly, and I refer him to
Right, the experts.
know.
Yeah. If he was talking about how to conceal carry on his motorcycle, he should talk to you.
Maybe.
And if he wants to talk about suspension, he should talk to me. I'm a 55-year-old intermediate off-road racer. I mainly ride the District 36 Cross Country Series. I'm currently ride a 2010 KTM 300 XCW. I'm considering purchasing a new bike. If you're riding 2010 and you're racing, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm gonna appreciate that.
Because you just raced a newer bike.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going back and forth between the KTM and the Husky. And you notice how I can say Husky now? It's so relieving to not call them white KTMs. But I'm leaning towards the Husky 300 with the wide ratio transmission because it comes with the Explorer fork and the linkage rear suspension. I've been told that the linkage suspension tracks better and does a better job of absorbing braking bumps. My biggest complaint with the current bike is that on rough downhills I have tracking problems and experience a great deal of wheel hop. Before I pull the trigger on the purchase of a new bike, I would like your input on the differences as well as the pros and cons of linkage versus the PDS suspension. Any information would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to answer your questions right after like Jaynie's phone pings and like our bar tabs all cleared up. So we'll move on. Okay. So I'm going to tell you something. If your 2010 KTM 300 is kicking on downhills compared to new bikes, that should be expected because stuff has gotten a lot better. Especially 2010 was still, it wasn't like as bad as the 2008 like that version, but it's still, they isolated the shock tower on the PDS suspension, gave it a slightly longer shock, which was huge. but the new bikes have become so much better. I remember riding a 2010 300, and then I rode a 500, so the 300 two-stroke, and I rode a new 500, and I'm like, man, like everything's evolving. It's getting better because the 500 made the 300 feel heavy and kind of like it didn't work that well. So no matter what you get, you're going to be very, very impressed with the performance increase. The difference, but since you're specific to the downhills and the way that the bike tracks, where I feel the linkage has an advantage on the PDS is that when you do a wide range of like riding, you're riding a lot of different situations, whether you're out in the desert one day and then you're a tight mountain single track trail, the linkage tends to be able to get away with more before you want to adjust it. So the PDS, it seems like you might want to make small changes to it in comparison to the if you're picky. But where I find the linkage seems to work on the new bikes, the difference between PDS and linkage, it feels like the linkage allows it to be a little bit softer initially and then still have the same bottoming resistance. But for me, I feel like the linkage, it gets a little mushy at some places, like so that the bike doesn't handle as precise, where that same mushiness is what's going to help you on the downhills. It's instead, so that wheel's going to move a little bit easier because there's no load on it. There's a lot less load, and it's going to move a little bit easier because it's unweighted. It's at the end of the stroke, and it'll move freer where the PDS might, cause.
Now the linkage sort of, gears down the suspension. So the swing arm moves the same amount.
Yes.
And the shock does less, compresses less with linkage.
Depending on where it is in the stroke.
Okay.
So
it changes during the stroke.
It changes, and the linkage allows a longer shock, because the shock is able to hang down longer. So it has more, for swing arm movement, it has more stroke sensitivity. And then, but it's so... We were going back and forth between the Husky and the KTM, the 500 EXC and the FE 501, back and forth, linkage and PDS. And if you weren't, I would say 8 out of 10 riders could not tell the difference between the way that those bikes worked. They felt like those bikes were very, very, very similar. And I think if you blindfolded them, like 7 out of 10 people, a lot less wouldn't. I just lost my mouth numbers there. But
so what are the, you also mentioned to me the other day when I was talking to you about this, that to correct that particular issue, you give up something on the other end, right? Everything's kind of a balancing act.
Yeah. So if you're setting up your bike for, and then it comes down to is your ride height set properly, and then what have you done with your high speed compression on the shock? And is your front fork too soft? He didn't really give me his height and weight. But if he's a little bit over, the recommended weight,
probably not.
Regular size dude.
Slight built guy.
Yeah.
So you are.
Yeah. So I think that in reality, if you're an average sized rider, it's all, a lot of it has to do with bike balance, and if it has to do just with downhills and stuff, a lot of times you find that the problems in the rear end sometimes are caused by the fork, getting low in the stroke, so maybe just increasing the compression of the fork. If the bike works every place else perfect, then it's tricky to say, hey, I'm gonna to set it up just for that. Yeah, 3 tacos. Yeah, we had to make our food order. Sorry. So,
how much of that could be riding position?
It
sounds like.
Sorry. Just open up the can of worms.
So, some of this.
Yeah. All you have to do is get over the back a little bit more, and then it changes. And here's my problem. Like a lot of times when I'm testing bikes is, except for that KTM 500 that is cartwheel. I adapt very quickly to a bike, and so if you, and I'm used to riding so many different bikes and changing so quickly, a lot of times that, just doing something small with your riding position, realizing my bike's doing this and you can kind of react to it. And so sometimes when I go test a bike, I have to make a decision on how it's working very quick, because I'll adapt my riding. I'll make my riding fit what that bike's doing. If bikes, and I like a bike that turns on the front end. If a bike doesn't turn on the front end, and I'm a lazy rider, I find myself having to scoot forward on the bike to make that front end stick more. And then if it's a bike that like sliding, and I want it to, and this is where I have a problem. If a bike that turns better on the rear wheel, it slides on the rear wheel, and I start sliding forward to get the front end to stick, then the back end.
So that's a bike.
Backs out.
That's not just a riding style.
I'd like another one.
There's certain bikes work better at. There's some of their front end turning, and some slide really well. And I typically don't like bikes that are the ones that are known for sliding. And but I think more riders prefer the rear end sliding bikes than the front end turning bikes, because they seem to be unstable. So me, as being a lazy rider, I don't like to scoot forward as much as I should. I can sit in the middle of the seat and still get the bike to turn. Or if you're a good aggressive rider, you get up in the front of a bike that turns, then it turns really good, maybe too good. But you can set them up, But that's why I say these days the bikes are all so good. You just have to. You can buy the wrong bike for you. It doesn't mean whether it's good or bad. It's good or bad for you. It doesn't mean it's really good.
So back to his thing. He's thinking of a 300 Husky or a 300 KTM. And
I'm telling you, if he's coming,
I thought he mentioned air shocks or something at some point.
No, he mentioned the Explorer fork. So I think he wants the open cartridge fork with the either linkage or PDS rear end. So it's coming from 2010. Anything you get's going to be awesome. I would get. I can't say one will work better than the other, and you'd have to be picky to tell the difference, to really tell the difference. But if you want to be picky, I would say be like all the motocross racers and realize that since you're a head case, you need to have a linkage. Period. PDS is bad if you're a racer. It's well known.
You're being a little facetious.
Do you see any PDS race bikes?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, maybe some of the extreme enduro guys, but there was no such thing. So just get the Husky, and then you can't complain, because it can't be the bike at that point. If I could get a PDS motocross bike right now, I would. Sorry.
What was it you said about air shocks or something on that? You talked about
air fork or shocks.
Forks or something. You were talking. You said,
I
think somebody do this, and the guy had actually done it.
Yeah.
Is that releasable? When you were testing the bikes with the Huskies and all that?
Oh, no. Can't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah, the
air fork. I heard you say you like air forks.
I love air forks, and I was talking to someone that's really sharp with bike testing and development, and he hates air forks. He absolutely hates it.
But he has it.
Oh, look at those. Yeah, he made a quote substandard spring fork work really good at motocross, and he was totally happy, because that's and it was a feeling thing. It's like there's a reason why I like air forks, and there's a reason why he likes spring forks, and he was able to make a spring fork work good for him. And he understands what he wanted, and he made it work.
Did that answer, Jim Anderson? Did that answer your question? What are you going to buy?
What are you going to buy?
Get off your wallet and come to a riding school. I bet you that'd be 40% of this.
I'd be willing to bet that no matter what bike you buy, I can get you the best modification ever for that bike. Yeah. Okay.
But he's too busy racing.
Hey, Craig Hunter. I'd say Craig Hunter. That's Trevor Hunter's dad. were you the guy that they just put out, the Delore Minreach put out stories about people that got lost in the wilderness? Were you the guy that almost died on a snow bike? Because there was a Craig Hunter that almost died on a snow bike. And I saw pictures of you and a snow bike the other day, so I'm just trying to put two and two together. Hey, everybody wants to know where Victor is. He's right in front of me right now.
Hiding.
He's hiding. He doesn't want to come on. He's kind of like Gabe. But he was ripping laps around the flat track today. Pretty impressive for a guy that drove 4 hours to just hop on the bike and handle the flat track like that. Let's see. I'm going to go back to see where we're at here on the questions.
And he brought us tequila.
And he brought us tequila.
Yes.
So, Mark Daniels explains all the fuel problems. He says, with today's fuel, everything has problems.
Yes.
So, yes. Let's see. Put a link to the Tour of Idaho video if you can. Thanks. Kenny, if you just go to the Dirt Bike Test website, www.dirtbiketest.com, and just in the little search box up there, type in Tour of Idaho, it will pop up pretty quick. Hey, Jimmy, what the heck are you wearing? Michael Pounds is watching some video of me explaining King of the Motos. That was actually a jersey that a guy from Colorado made. Oh, I wish I knew remember the name of the gear. But they had sublimated a sheriff's, like a sheriff's, like deputy jersey or something like it. Had a little star on it and had the bandana hooked into it. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I used to wear it all the time because they used to call me the sheriff or the general or something. Hey, Logan, they say you might need to come in here and talk so I can eat tacos. He just shrugs his shoulders and goes like this. He doesn't say anything. Tammy Anderson says, yes, that helped, and this is Tammy's Facebook. Oh.
It's Jim's wife.
Oh. Got it. He says he'll be at a school soon. Jeremy says, happy 50th TTT. We appreciate it. And then his wife won't let him go. Great.
Wait, there's one up there.
We missed something?
Eduardo Rojas. Is that right? ROSAS? Is that
Rojas, yeah. What recommendation for lowering
a
bike? Sierra 450 RX 2020. Not a Kuba link.
Training. I ride a high bike.
If you're gonna, when you go to a lowering link, it really alters the suspension linkage ratio quite a bit, and that's not a good thing. You would actually, instead of just getting different length pull arms to drop the whole bike, you really should have the whole. You should have the link itself, the center link, and different pull arms to alter the ratio. But that's actually pretty difficult. So the best thing to do is to go to a suspension expert that knows how to professionally lower it. But I would advise you against that. That's mine.
Well, you weren't drinking it.
That's mine. I got an eyes on it. I would advise you against that as much as possible, because it does alter the way the bike's handled quite a bit. And I've found that once everybody wants to put their feet on the ground, and once you realize that you don't ride with your feet on the ground, you ride with your feet on the foot pegs. And you can put one foot down quite comfortably, most people, unless you're, Logan, how tall are you? 5'4"? Logan's 5'4". Did you ride the Husaberg yet? You did. How was it? A lot of power? Dry lake bed. It just did wheelies the whole time. Yeah, you ought to see the knobby on the front of my Husaberg 570. Because it's rarely touched the ground. I mean, it's always like at least a little bit in the air, if not a lot. But what were we talking about? Oh, being 5'4". You're eating, so being 5'4", and Logan's 5'4", and he rode my Husaberg 570, which is not a small bike. So I think you can handle that thing without lowering it too much. Yeah. Mark says the tacos are getting cold, so you're gonna have to speak up. Hey, John. You want to come on for a little while? Give George a chance to eat? Yeah, somebody needs to come over here.
Well, shit, I'm as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Do you want your water?
Yeah.
Or a pina colada?
I could probably use one.
So we're George got all hungry and started crunching tacos in front of us. I'm going to put mine off to the side. So TX or TE for tight single track. Samuel Penn wants to know this. So he's talking about those Huskies. TX or TE for tight single track.
Does that matter?
You're going to say KDX 200.
Oh yeah, I would always go with the KDX 200.
KDX
220 at the most. For the most part. So I wasn't really paying attention very much over there. But did we answer the question about? We had a guy asking about ground clearance on Beta, Sherco, and maybe KTM as well.
Oh, did that pop up in the thing?
Yeah, it was one of the very first questions we had, and I was kind of curious about that because I recall seeing your bike set up for King of Motos this year.
Right, it was stock.
Well, it was very much stock, but how about the ride height then?
It wasn't as stock as you think it was because I'm always fiddling with stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually put the suspension off of the 250 EXCF.
Okay.
On it, and
that was a brand new 300, right?
It was a brand new 300 because George set it up for his weight, so it was heavy, and I wanted the softer spring. So I actually put the suspension just straight off the 4-stroke on it, and because I was more worried, I wanted to squat down, I wanted to get low in the rear.
Get your feet closer.
Well, no. Only when I do the extreme enduro shuffle where you're dangling off the back.
The last chance survivor's paddle.
Right, but that's kind of a really unique riding situation. That's not. Most people don't do that stupid stuff. No, you did. But
skill at some point there.
So it's funny because you by having something that rides low or whatever, and I didn't. The ride height was still I think it was like 108 is where it held itself up. But when I got back on that bike, the spring was softer. I was able to kind of crunch it back down, and so better that way. But the ground clearance, I don't think is too much of an issue. I mean, I was worried about it blowing through the stroke too much. So when you come up to like a rock that you're going to smash into, I didn't want it to blow into the stroke and
push through, sack the bike out,
and then go. And it didn't. And that was the only concern. But I mean, I tested it before I rode it. I didn't just throw it on there and do that. So but ground clearance. I mean, the worst thing about the bikes, the aforementioned bikes you mentioned, they all have a linkage hanging down there. Every one of them. And that's why I rode the KTM. And if I had a choice to do that stuff, I would ride a PDS bike every single time in extreme enduro because there's less stuff between my skid plate and my rear wheel hitting whatever it is that I want to get hung up on.
The lack of the linkage also, even as good as you are, it still gives you the chance at approaching things at a much slower rate because you don't have to worry about pushing through that linkage part.
Yeah.
So a lot of times with the linkage, you almost have to use a little bit of momentum to help it roll over.
Slide. I mean, now the guys are building the guides and stuff, and even with the guides and stuff, you still feel it. I mean, I still feel it hit. And it catches. I mean, if you compress, the really good riders, you watch them, they compress the bike down, and the bike's compressed, and so you don't have to compress it too much. But I'm not that good, and I'll go up to it, and the bike will unload before it goes, and then the linkage catches, and then I'm going over the handlebars, which I'm good at, evidently.
As of recently,
sore from so. Yeah, let's see. So back to the TE, wait a minute. So TE. So here's the question: TX or TE, or TE or XCW? So TX or TE, I would go with TE every single time because it's just set up for doing that. It's got the open cartridge fork, which is a little bit. It's not that you couldn't set up the one fork for one and the other fork for the other.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about. We know someone that got the open cartridge fork to work good at motocross, but it just comes out of the box, set up for doing. The The TX is more for like Grand Prix or air scrambles, a little more racy. Tight single track, I'd rather have the kind of the bump compliance of the TE, and then TE or XCW, they're kind of the same. And what I found from riding the Husky, and that's I was so stoked that I got to ride all those different bikes, was to feel that the Husky it's a little bit more supple, so if you want something that's a little bit mushy, it's funny because some people are saying like, okay, Husky's setting the bikes up for a more compliant ride, maybe for like an older guy. I don't necessarily think an older guy needs a more compliant ride because I might be an older guy and I want the bike to hold itself up and feel a little more active. But boy, if you ever have a chance to go, to ride them back to back, that'd be the best way to do it.
Oh, that's absolutely the best way to do it. Is ever get a hold of two bikes, even slight year differences. It's not it's not the biggest deal if you get a bike that's 3 years older than your buddy has. That's at least in the same genre. They don't change all that much.
But 3 years is a noticeable jump.
Well, a noticeable jump in the advances of the bike, but not so much in the advances of the actual model of the bike.
Oh yeah. The model. Yeah, the models. If the models have their characteristics and they stay.
If you're bouncing between different models, if you're bouncing between 3 different bikes in the same year, you're going to get a lot of differences. But if you're bouncing between 3 different genres, 3 different styles of bike, the give or take a couple of years, you're going to kind of figure out what you're looking for.
Yeah. So I would, if you're, it depends on what you're coming from too. Like, you asked this question, like if you're coming from something that's 3-4 years older, anything new is going to be an improvement.
Yes.
I mean, even let's just go kind of brand differences. Like, hey, I have a 4-year-old KTM 500 EXC, and you ride the new Honda, the CR450L. You're going to be impressed with the way it works. A little bit different flavors, like flavors of ice cream. It's a little bit different, but it just works really good. Same thing, you're coming off an old CR450X, and you're maybe coming to the new X, or you're coming to a Husky, a Husky 501.
Yeah, even if you keep the brands the same, you give it that much of a year jump, and it's going to be drastically better.
Right. So that's where
those guys. I know every internet forum out there likes to think that there's 110 different things you can do to make a bike better, but the guys that are making them have a pretty solid idea of what actually makes them a better bike.
So we have a lot of questions on the Husky 501, and so that we just released the video last week of the 501E, right? What is it, 501S or E? What's FE 501? S. No, E. E. I always get confused. Actually, even in the title, I had to go back and change it because it was wrong. But, so Caden S. says, it's a really good video. Thanks for taking the time to thoroughly test this bike. Thumbs up and subscribe for me. I don't know if I can subscribe for you, but I hope you subscribe. Thumbs up too. Like, we like the thumbs up, especially when they're flying across the screen. They're almost like little dollar bills that are just flying away to Facebook world or something like that. And and we're gonna figure out how to make that fly money. We don't know. Hey, no, we really do. That's why we don't do a ton of them, because we do take the time to test them. I mean, a lot of times when these bikes go back. Hey Logan, you want to say hi? Say hi to everybody in the world. Yep, it's past his bedtime. He's got to go do homework and all that other stuff. You were ripping on the flat track today. Good to see you guys.
Self-proclaimed second best.
So, we take the time to test them because you can't do it in a single day. And you're going to hear some podcasts that we did on the factory editions where we did in a single day, and they're not going to sound as thorough. As you get a good impression, and I can feel a bike out in about 10 minutes. I can hop on it and get a really good rounded impression in about 10 minutes. But after that, it's like when you get down to the nitty gritty, if you ask me a question about it, it takes some time on the bike so I can make sure that I answer that question properly.
Yeah, it helps if you get a little bit of time there to actually play with the suspension a little bit, play with the handlebars, actually get the bike kind of dialed in for you, get it comfortable for you, and then you can actually kind of feel what's going on there a little bit.
For instance, we're talking about the 2020.5 KTM Factory Edition. It's a motocross bike, and the Husky, it would be the FC 450 Rockstar Edition, and they're kind of the same bike. They're based off the same chassis or similar chassis, same engine, but they're different. And the cool thing, we got to ride those bikes back to back at Glen Helen, and Glen Helen got rough. All the guys are out. All the 250 West guys are now out doing their outdoor setups.
Yeah, Glen Helen
ripping, and that place got destroyed.
Whereas nasty hard.
And so it was awesome to ride those bikes there because in the beginning of the day the track was smooth, and then it changed, and it really showed what the suspension did. Going back and forth, the bikes have slightly different characteristics, and so at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I really like these bikes. They're not necessarily my flavor. Like I like a slightly different flavor, but they work good. I could take either of those bikes and line them up at a start line. Like if I went to an SRA Grand Prix or I went to RAM Motocross, I could take either of those bikes right now, line it up at a start line, and I would be pretty much as competitive and almost as comfortable as I could possibly be. But I wanted to change the tires. And that's not a slam against the Dunlops that were on it. It's just me personally, I would want to put like a Michelin or a Pirelli, which why would you want those? Or maybe even a Bridgestone. But I know those tires might make that bike feel a little bit better for me. And it's mostly to do with bump compliance and then just certain things to do with the traction. But that's where additional testing comes in, because that's the first thing, that's the only thing I really wanted to do to those bikes before I did anything else, because everything worked good. We got a really good setting with the suspension, and it worked on both bikes. We slowed the rebound down, I think, and you have to listen to the Dirt Bike Test podcast that we do on it, and you'll know what we did. But that's the additional testing, and then you do that, then you say, okay, what's next? But kind of quickly on those bikes, the big thing that KTM did is, you have the traction control button and you have the different maps.
Sure.
It's awesome. And usually the KTMs, you push it and you can hardly tell a difference. Now you can tell a difference. It works. And there was a Husky a few years back, like the FX that we rode, and the traction control, you couldn't tell the difference between the two maps, but the traction control really worked. Now it's like you have 4 different maps on those bikes, even the motocross bikes. So I was pretty impressed that they did that.
That's such a big feature until you turn the traction control off. I don't need the traction control. You turn it off and you go ride it around a couple laps. And what happened to me?
I usually don't like it. I mean, I don't like traction control because I use spinning sometimes to help me do what I want to do. But later on in the day at the Glen Helen uphills, it was like I had the traction control off and I turned it on just to test it. And I just found I could just come out of the turn and just whack the throttle wide open, and there was no way that I could go up the hill that fast using my wrist because I was just spinning all the time. And I even earlier in the day I realized I had to back off to go faster up the hill, which is kind of counterintuitive. But traction control on those bikes really does work.
It's such a big deal for the 99% of the world that needs it. Obviously, there's plenty of. Well, there's not plenty of people, but there's a handful of people that are better than it. But for the rest of us, it's one of those things where you have to test it. You actually have to go out and see what it does. You have to say, hey, does this work? And it may be on there, and there may be times to use it and not. And the good thing about it is you just reach your thumb over and push the button, and then it's on. And reach the button, push it on, and it's off. KTM has got the dial adjustment for the map settings and the traction control.
I like Yamaha's one button, because behind that button I can actually program the maps that I want.
Yeah, the Yamaha's you gotta hold it.
No. The new one, you just push it.
Oh.
No, the new one just...
Okay.
The Honda one's the one that jacked up.
I got one of those.
Yeah, you have to take 2 hands and you have to lick your lips.
Yeah, you sit there and wait for it to blink a couple times.
You blink a couple times.
Then it's usually wrong anyway.
No, it's like zero. It takes 0 throttle. Yeah, Honda really... If there's something they need to get sorted.
I bought one of those in my own money, don't worry.
They could use... somebody needs to make just the one quick push button. But Okay, so back to the Husky 501 videos. I know we got sidetracked there. X Timer Tracks dash sub to me says, here before 4,000 subscribers, don't stop. I really want to be friends. Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Huh?
I want to be friends too.
I want to be friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Vidmoto says,
and subscribe. Go for it.
Vidmoto says, thorough. Yeah.
Send money. Be good friends.
Send money. Yeah. X Timer, send money will be good. I actually remember the guy I said, the guy that
Class
I remember his name. I refunded him today.
from the weekend.
No. The guy who just just liked what we were doing, and he sent a donation in to to the email.
Mine too.
Huh? You did?
You sent mine too.
I refund yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not ready to take money. We're not good enough for money yet.
That's not true for me.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Jaynie says you can find Jaynie on the Facebooks and you can send her money. It'll be my tip tonight.
Find her-
Actually, my tab maybe.
Find her on Tinder.
Swipe right or left.
One swipe left and good time.
Jason Rice says, awesome video. Can't wait to see what you guys do to these bikes. I just bought a 2020 KTM 500 XCFW. I'm really impressed with this bike. It's so light, and the fit and finish in the 2020 is the best I've seen on a dirt bike. I just added a JD tuner and a new end cap, and the bike runs very smooth. Jason, I agree. And since Scott Hoffman is buying the Husky, we will do some stuff to it in different steps, and hopefully you can learn some different things about that. But with an end cap and a tuner, I'd be happy.
Hard pressed to impress you over a KTM 500.
Wow.
It's a solid bike.
Jack Bauer says, Jimmy, your reviews like this are much appreciated. Sober Jimmy is much more collected and doesn't ramble. Well, Jack, cheers to you, buddy. Yeah.
Victor's got a rally question.
Jack, what makes you think I wasn't drunk when I did that Husky video? No, I try to keep it together here. Paul Van Hoyt says, great real world and insightful review. I'm impressed how Husky and KTM keep evolving these machines, though they still must have 10 inventory of those mirrors. They're trying to get rid of those mirrors. Yeah. We didn't even slam it for the mirrors, did we? On the video, I think we did. Yeah, those mirrors are junk. I mean, they know you're going to take them off.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
or they're going to break off.
It's kind of like the PDS suspension. You know, you're just going to take it off, right? Kamanan 100. I'm going to get the dirt version and put on some blinkers. I had the 2016 450F and now have the 2020 FE300 TPI. Great bikes. Still cheaper than a girlfriend.
Driving a wife.
Yeah.
Hey, so we did have a question about,
Okay.
Jimmy, in respects to the PDS versus linkage, do the KTM rally bikes run PDS or linkage?
Linkage.
And why?
Linkage. Because they're racers. No, they're racers and they're all psychotic. They have to have a racer has to have a linkage. There's no way. I mean, they're all mental. They're head cases, and so they know that the linkage works on the other guy's race bike that beat him. So you have to have a linkage. That's the way racing works. When I took off at King of the Motos, I knew I started right next to Colton Hayden. He was like right in front of me when he started, and I saw that he had a linkage, and I knew I wasn't going to beat him, and I didn't care. Yeah.
Did you beat it?
No, I didn't beat him. Actually, we should look at his track logs and I tried to DQ him because I know mine were good. Actually, I need to send my track logs to Justin, by the way. David R says, wow, throw one across the bow of beststoolsportbike.com. Well, since I announced bestdualsportbike.com on this podcast, that was even better than throwing it across the bow, whatever I said. I think it was probably about the 90 degree fuel injector nozzle, or is he the bald guy?
Yeah.
Which guy's the bald guy?
No, he's the other guy.
He's the other bald guy.
Yeah.
The other one, not the bald guy, but the other bald guy. Jim's kind of bald. I'm kind of bald. Yeah, so we're all bald. Don't trust bald guys on the internet that are trying to sell you things because they make it up. Because actually, I rode a guy in the class. Okay, the first recluse bike I rode before I did my cartwheel. That guy had a complete relocation of the TPI fuel injectors into the reeds. So it was a get system. I haven't seen this before, but he had screws stuck in the TPI ports, and he had a reed block, and he had the injectors in there. They relocated them in there. And I said, wow, I thought maybe it was a conversion to take a carbureted one and make it fuel injected, but because I didn't pay attention. But I looked at it, and he said, no, it's that way. The oil doesn't get stuck on the reeds or something like that. And I rode his bike because I got interested. I was mostly about the clutch, but then I looked and I rode it, and he said it makes more power, and I couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell because there was when I was trying to make more power, there was still a lot more throttle left. I could just turn the throttle farther and it made more power. But
that runs me right back to my statement from the beginning. Every internet forum that thinks there was a better way to design it.
Quarter turn throttle.
Hey, Grudge Tank says he's talking about the Husky 501, but do they outperform the WR 450? Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty sure it outperforms the WR 450, especially stock. But you can't even get a license plate on your WR 450.
So the first time I rode the Husky, I thought it was really, really slow. But I was just kind of tooling around. We were playing.
What'd you come off, my Husaberg? The 570 that has a lot of power?
No, I came off of my bike.
Oh, your Honda 450X.
No, I came off Husaberg. But I said the same thing. I got on it. I was like, man, this thing is very mellow, very smooth. And then I just like twisted the throttle just a little tiny bit further, and it will outperform those things.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah, it was cool. It just required a little more throttle turn than say an R-Pop.
So two more questions. Got two more. Tommy D, 1963 Iffy, that's his name, says, I had a 17 and love it. This review has me thinking it's time for another one.
I agree.
Yeah, that's that 3-year thing I talk about all the time.
I would absolutely never talk anyone down off of buying a brand new motorcycle. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
they're absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Even if they're unchanged, they're fantastic. They're tight. They're together. They have the most amount of compression they'll ever have. New motorcycles are fantastic.
New bikes are super awesome. And Todd Kurtz says, just wondering if the extra point of compression is a noticeable compared to the 17 or 19 models. I also agree with Jimmy on the reed valve and the intake. Removing it does nothing for the power until probably 3/4 throttle, and then it's only minimal. I have a 2017 500 EXCF and would suggest that the only mods needed are removing the screen at the end of the muffler and adding a Jaynie tuner. Even the gearing on the 2020 is good. I think if I counted right, it's 1448. So I'm glad somebody agrees with me. Yeah,
I don't see anything crazy about that comment.
No, that's
the KTM 500 is KTM Husky whatever 500 is a rock solid motorcycle.
So why'd you buy Honda?
Because honestly, I'm a massive person. I don't know if you could notice the size difference between the two of us.
Right.
The KTM.
We call him Big John for a reason.
The KTM and the Husky are really small. They feel really, really small. The seat height to pegs feels super low. They just feel like small motorcycles, and I don't feel particularly comfortable on them.
So here's a guy that really likes the Husky and the KTM. Nothing wrong with him. And he goes and buys a Honda. because he realized that the chassis in the cockpit works.
There's not crazy huge differences between all of them, anyways. I went with what fit me the best. I went out and rode it, and this bike I can see myself spending a really long day on, having a good time on, and the other one who knows? Maybe if I would have gave 20 hours to any of the other ones, I might have bought one of those too. But they seemed a little too small for me, and I went with the one that best fit me on the showroom.
On the showroom floor.
Well, obviously I had a couple of.
How was it in that sand wash out by Dumont?
Oh,
I have that video someplace.
Oh.
Yeah, we had it all queued up at one point.
We're going to talk about Jimmy's car the other day. Let's talk about mine.
Yeah,
it was also on a Honda. I still like it.
Yeah, that was that bike.
That was that.
It wasn't your bike. It was
your bike.
It was Honda. It was Honda's bike. No, that was a sketchy little thing. So, anyways, I think we're. Everybody says the video's dropping out constantly. Okay, Victor's got a question.
A rally question.
Rally question.
Yeah, is to the Dakar going outside Saudi Arabia next year? Jordan and
I've heard Jordan. I've heard they're looking into Jordan. So the question is the Dakar rally going outside of Saudi? And I think they might want to.
I see.
But I don't know. I mean, you never know. They usually try to keep that stuff pretty under wraps. I know they're talking to those countries. We know that. But they're looking for. It's like I think they found that the empty quarter of Saudi Arabia is exactly that, very empty. Even the rider said this. They said it was just nothing. There was a lot of nothing out there. So
I guess it beats booby traps and some of the stuff you might have had to deal with in your day.
No, in Africa, Africa was amazing. I mean, it was sketchy, but it was amazing. So it's all different.
Mark, Victor's on a bar stool back there. Looks like he's enjoying his time. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that bar stool should probably have my name on it by now, huh?
This one?
Yeah, that one, or maybe that one. I don't know. One of them. I tried to get him bar stool with my name on it, but it didn't work. And then we tried for maybe an ashtray with my name on it. They didn't even go bite for that. You got to get something for having 200 tequilas. 250? What are we at? How many tequilas, Jaynie? How many? Where am I at?
78.
278.
No, the top runner.
Oh,
Roughly.
226.
Oh, 226 tequilas. Yeah. So, cool. Well, anyways, we have any other dirt bike and dirt bike related questions that we need to answer here? You got it all covered?
That's actually my wife, but
Oh, she's checking on you?
237.
237 tequilas I've had here.
that's close.
So
you put this one on the list too, right?
238 now.
238 with this ultra old
Ontario
stuff. But I'm going back to look to see the Jack. To Jack, yeah, I'm sorry I had a couple in me tonight, so it might have got a little wishy-washy. we'll see where Tech Talk Tuesday, Taco Tuesday continues. Not sure whether we're going to be super regular on the schedule the next couple weeks. I got, I don't want to laugh anymore because my ribs might hurt or something.
We've also got a lot of flat track training coming up. We're trying to get a solid schedule, 4 days a week, sometimes 5.
You know how hard it is to water that track?
I looked really hard today.
Yeah, that's my job all day was watering that track.
Yeah,
that's why the podcast for the factory editions isn't up. I'd like to thank Gabe for getting that Honda CRF 250 video up. It already had it went up this afternoon and already had 78 views in it. Mark Bermcan, his video on the Honda Rally, it's already said it was in the 100,000s or something crazy. But that's a pretty popular bike. I mean, they don't even sell that many of them. So, okay. I think I think we're going to start wrapping it up. Should we wrap it up? We've dwindled down to 16 people. So
I think it's probably time.
When we had Ricky Brabeck on here, there was 10 times that many people on there.
Same size, less of a rider. Didn't win the Dakar.
No.
Just throwing it out there. A couple flat track events, but
So, hey, that's over 7 liters of tequila. Somebody just told me. Not in shots?
That's nothing.
Oh, that's a good calculation. You need to do that. How many liters of tequila have we drank?
Oh shit.
How many how many shots per?
A shitload.
bring James back to mini bike.
It's a shit.
That's a metric.
Bring back Langtown mini bike racing. No, that's just broken ribs.
I was so excited over that.
Yeah, I'm just flat tracked now. It's pretty easy. So cool. Well, hey everybody, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you like this, add comments down below. Tell a friend. Share. Hey, you can always support Dirt Bike Test by go to Dirt Bike Test, and if you're looking at one of the stories and there's the Amazon thing at the bottom, you can always shop through there. We get a little cut there. Buying a T-shirt never hurt anybody, and then you can support. John, where's your?
I did. Look
Look at that one. We got all the brands on here. Victor,
older one.
Victor picked up a hat and T-shirt today. He's trying to hide from the camera. Logan was wearing one today. It's all good. So you can always get a T-shirt. And where's yours?
Where's mine?
Don't you have one?
No.
She doesn't. Jaynie doesn't have a Dirt Bike Test T-shirt. Well, what you do is you go on www.dirtbiketest.com. You click on the shop button. Something comes down, and then you can buy a T-shirt. So, okay, and that says "Enjoy pain while living," which I'm currently doing. So with that, we're going to sign off, and I'm going to eat my tacos. Thanks to Big John. Thanks to George for hanging out. All the rest of the peanut gallery, and we will see you out on the trail. Cheers. And cut.